What up? Welcome to the 43rd episode of the Back of the Class podcast. We are your hosts. I am the Esteban Serrano.
I'm Juan.
I'm Childish Zach Dion.
Oh, come on. Way to start this off. Anyway, speaking of childish.
I'm planting my flag right now.
Oh, God.
I knew you would. I knew you would.
Juan, number 43. Who you got?
I believe Chris Gatling was number 43 at one point.
I think you just pulled that out of your ass.
I'm pretty sure he was.
I have no idea.
Let's go to the Google machine.
All right, you go to the Google machine. Zach, who you got number 43?
Oh,
I love these.
Mr. Rogers.
In
That
what-
was his vanity jersey. He wore it every other show.
That was his neighborhood watch number.
I was that's his house number 43. Anyway, as Juan Googles things, we are, let me run down the show's rundown, shall we? A lot of new albums are dropping this month, which is exciting. Childish Gambino is coming out tomorrow, Friday?
Friday, today. It's
Today.
here.
Right, boom. J. Cole's coming out next week. Run the Jewels is coming out. There's a new Hamilton mixtape. Lots of good music to have a conversation about. In the Flex Zone, we're talking about Netflix.
The Netflix zone.
The Netflix
Netflix is
Zone.
giving
Ooh.
us an offline mode.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. And then whatever happened to Charles Hamilton. We're going to fill you in on that.
I was wrong.
And get back into the weekend playlist. I've told you were
I was
wrong.
Chris Gatling was 25, 15, and 32.
Nowhere near 43
They don't even add up to 43.
at all. Anyway, we'll let you let you end on a good note on the 43. But let's get into it, man. We've all heard this Childish Gambino album. Zach's middle name.
So-called Childish Gambino album.
Oh my God! Yeah, Juan has very, very, very strong opinions. So first, let's start on a positive note.
Let's just where should we start? I don't know. First, I'm curious to hear what you think.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
thought.
All right, I don't know if it's a product of me going and thinking it was going to be something, and then it just turns out to be something completely.
Right, expectations
But-
ruins it.
Yeah, but then I think seeing the album cover should have kind of been like a precursor to what it was going to be. That being said, I don't know what the hell is going on in that album, just because, and I was telling Esteban, I feel like the reason he has such a music following is A, his work on Community and like the stuff he built up before, but then his work on Camp and his mixtapes like Royalty, like
Yeah.
people saw he had chops to rap. You know what I mean? And on the last album, he sang a little more, and you see like, okay, he can sing.
And really unique production too.
And very unique
nobody's
production.
songs really sound like his.
But
hip-hop.
I feel like, and I could be wrong, maybe it's just me, I feel like most of people like me want to hear him rap. And there is no rapping on this album.
None.
Zero.
There's a little bit of auto-tune, but that's it.
There's just a lot of...
Yo, Juan loves auto.
Yeah,
Psych-
if Juan can't get rapping, he only wants auto-tune.
Oh, no. There's a lot of psychedelic... The production is tight.
Yes, agreed.
Very psychedelic, super funky. I like that. But it's not what I went for.
Yeah.
I don't go to McDonald's and order a slice of pizza.
That's a great way
I went in
to
to listen to
describe it.
Childish Gambino's new album to hear him maybe sing a couple of hooks like
Right.
the last album, maybe more, but get some rap.
Now, does he need to change his name for this project? Does it need to be like Aloysius Left Foot or something like,
No,
you know what I mean?
He doesn't need to change it, but it's going to be...
That's not, because this is not Childish Gambino. Like you said, you
doesn't-
went there to
no.
hear Childish and you didn't because he's not rapping at all. Andre 3000,
It's
case
just a
in point,
synonym
has
for
a lot
Donald
of
Glover,
names.
though. I mean, it's not like... okay. I pulled up the wiki here. His first mixtape was 2008. It's been 8 years. He did a lot of mixtapes. One of them was called I Am Just a Rapper. 2 of them were called that. So there's been, a lot of rap, but I also felt pretty, I'm as soon as I heard the first song and then the second song especially, like the ones that came out before this, I was like, once I heard the second one, I was like, there's not going to be any rap on this probably, and it's going to be just like all like crazy like blues and funk and shit. But
A lot of funk.
I wonder if he listens to this podcast, hears us bitching about Drake not rapping, and he was like, you know what? I got something for the back of the class.
But it's like, it's not, with Drake, there's a means to an end. He
Right.
sings more because that's almost what his predominant audience of females demands of him, right?
Right.
I don't think...
And he's in the business of selling records,
Yes.
Drake.
I don't think Donald Glover is catering to that audience.
I don't think.
No.
he
Having
cares to
said that,
anybody.
I always say I respect when artists take leaps of faith and they go away from what has got them to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Me particularly, I like the production.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's out there. Some of it is nice funk, like
Mm-hmm.
really cool. What's the word?
Your
trying to sound
favorite-
smart here, like
your favorite
orchestral
thing you ever heard.
arrangements.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
But there's some like that track California where
Oh.
he's just spewing just gibberish.
And then the
fuckery.
way he's saying it is so Ice JJ Fish. If you guys ever heard it. YouTube Ice JJ Fish. It's a singy rapping dude who looks like he might be like mentally touched, and it went viral for all the wrong reasons. Like it's just terrible singing. And that's exactly what it sounds.
It's just
like.
weird, and I didn't think I thought it was just me, so I passed the headphones to Esteban, and he was just like, "Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
what
don't
he's
get it.
saying. I don't know what the song. I'm
then
assuming
it's
it's
like
about
whistles
California
and
because that's the
flutes
title.
and-
Yeah. Having said that,
Right.
I do like number one. Redbone is my favorite track on just
Redbone.
because it's very R&B ish.
That's a great
It has
R&B
dope
record.
production in it.
It's good.
Would have loved to be rapped on it, but I like that song. Like I played that through, and I was like, all right, this is a really good song. I like this song, right? I liked The Night Your Mama and I Met. That's a nice song. Besides that, just wasn't a fan. And I'm just gonna go out and say, if you are a fan of his rapping and you're coming to get that, you are not gonna get that.
If you're coming to hear anything you've ever heard from him before,
Yeah,
Right.
basically, yeah.
Right.
There's almost.
But if you like funk,
yeah.
well,
Well,
your one-stop shop. for
And here's the
funk.
problem too, right? So there's a lot of different letdowns from this setup. Not saying that the album is a letdown, but if you're a Childish Gambino rap fan, you're disappointed. But then also if you listen to Redbone, and that's the first thing you hear from this album, you're disappointed because there is no other Redbone on this album. That's the only song like it.
Yeah.
The rest of the album is Bootsy Collins.
It's all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's a very funky
George Clinton-y.
George Clinton.
What
Bootsy.
I said on like my first or maybe second impression, I text my wife and because we've listened to Childish Gambino a lot and we've seen him, and I said he made a jam bandy World Cafe tour through the history of black music. That's what I think.
Okay.
I felt even a few times where I felt jazz, certainly felt a lot of blues,
Yep.
certainly
Yeah.
felt a lot of old school like black rock and roll, obviously
Agreed.
funk, G-funk synths in there, like a lot of West
Yeah.
Coast hip hop like
But they took that
peppered-
from
there's no
from
we-
Bootsy.
yeah.
from that era,
And
so.
there's no like West Coast hip hop song, but those
Right,
flavors
right,
are in
right.
there. And it's just like, man, I don't know how I will feel about the record as a whole. Like I like that he made this big like sprawling thing and it's not that long. It's not like 80 minutes.
No, yeah.
Yeah, what is
12
it? 11
tracks.
11 or 12 tracks?
Yeah.
12 tracks.
But I don't know, man. Like when I just think about, even if you just look at the albums, like Camp to Because the Internet to this, like I just feel like I've grown alongside him and I've seen him just go from like this hyperactive, like loud, like always wants to get you laughing or entertained or
Right.
get you to like nod your head with
Cool
a clever line.
punchlines.
So like, and now when you see him in the press, when you see him on Atlanta, everybody thinks he's like this super serious, like dark guy, which is so different from how he was before.
Right.
But I just think he's like growing up and like mellowing out.
Right.
And it's like when you discover some genre of music you never discovered and you like go crazy with it. He's doing that with discovering that he can make music that's like not rap music.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know how much I would want to keep making rap music if I was him, because he's been fucking banging at the door for years and nobody except us and like the super nerd fan base is like letting him in.
Right.
Well,
and
the
that's
thing too is I
He's
feel
been
like
he's been like a punchline by all these motherfuckers for so long.
I feel like also with him is what you're alluding to about him when he go lucky, comedy, funny,
Yeah.
punchliney, like super nerd. I think he was kind of looking to the future and going, I don't want to be pigeonholed as this nerd rap guy who just does punchline rap about my short shorts.
Right.
So I think that's why he evolved. So he wasn't held to that standard for his whole career, which I 100% understand because it happens. Having said that, he's still gonna be in Spider-Man. He's still playing young Lando, so he's still a nerd.
Yeah.
He's just not putting it out in front of him as he was at one point when he first came out, which is what was appealing to us nerds, rapidy rap nerds, I guess.
Yeah. Did you guys watch that movie, The Martian? He was in that?
Yeah.
And he was like his old school self in that movie. He was like...
A lot of people didn't like him in that movie.
Yeah, but he was like really chatty and blah, blah, blah. He seemed more like...
Little extra.
But then it seems like I'm definitely going to try to make connections in my head between Atlanta and this album because he was making them at the exact same time. And from what I read, he didn't even consider them as like different. He just would wake up at this house with like all his dudes and women, and they would work on Atlanta, or he might work on some music at night, and he was just like making all. They never went to like a writer's room for Atlanta. He just sets up like a good compound to hang, and he just like makes shit.
Well, it's funny because in Atlanta, if you listen to the soundtrack in Atlanta,
it's bangers.
It's bangers. It's not southern rap,
but it's hip hop.
It's hip hop. Yeah. This album, I wouldn't categorize it as hip hop. I wouldn't, except for like songs like Redbone, it sounds like an R&B song for the most part.
No, it's
It's not.
But it's not a
hip
hip hop album.
No. But here's the thing, right? We kind of touched on it a bit. Like, there's a lot of things, but let's wrap some of it up. We're not saying that this is not a good album. I think I enjoyed it. Zach, you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Juan, there was moments you enjoyed, but it caught you off guard because of what
it caught me off guard, and it's just like I will forever say this: music is one of the most subjective things in the world.
Exactly.
For anyone to say something's trash or garbage,
right?
It's just whatever.
And we're also dealing with a very, very diversely talented human being.
Yeah.
Be it a writer, be it a comedian, be it an actor, be it a rapper, be it, now singing.
It's also a dude doing what he wants to do, not what his label's telling him to do. Not what the mainstream is shoehorning him to do.
And
knowing that's what dudes do nowadays.
And knowing he will alienate a lot of people, and he will alienate probably more of his fans than he will get new fans.
Right. Oh, big time.
But does it matter? No, because everybody's going to have Atlanta as their fucking #1 show of the year.
Exactly. Also, like, the type of music he's making isn't popular in today's contemporary because it's a sound from the 70s and no one's checking for it. So, number one, it's a huge risk. Number two, I don't think he cares.
No.
Which is super respectable.
Yeah.
But to go back about, you like it. I dislike it for the fact that it's not what I want out of him.
Right.
But I do acknowledge that there's definitely good stuff in it.
Right.
It's just to the eye of the beholder. Someone who was a big Childish fan rapping and who just happens to be a big funk fan that listens to those George Clinton and Bootsy Collins stuff, they'll be pleasantly surprised, and this will be probably their album of the year. You know what I mean?
What I like to listen to albums like this for is to think about why does he like taking these old sounds right now and playing them, and just how does he feel about it? Because if you don't look too much into it, it just sounds like a cover band of old music sometimes. But sometimes I'm hearing those just guitar solos and just this stuff that sounds like it could have been on any album, and I'm just wondering what did they think they were taking forward here? Why was he and all the musicians he clearly had working on this, what excited them about it? What did they think was new about it? And that's I'm definitely gonna keep listening to it a lot to just try to process it, and that's one thing that I'm gonna be thinking about is did this, for example, Kendrick, I think about so many albums since Pimp a Butterfly. I think so many people wanted to get in a room and jam and make their version of a hip hop album since then. And Kendrick did that, and it's got all those sounds, but it sounds completely modern. You can tell how he synthesized it all.
Exactly. And it's still rap, even with, a lot of those elements.
This is singing and just lead singer stuff. He's singing to, this funk stuff.
But at the end of the day, shout out to Childish Gambino, because as a hip hop community, we will destroy you if you evolve and experiment. We will destroy you if you stay the same and you never change. Childish has been knocking down the door trying to get, hip hop cred. And, the people who are true fans of the culture recognize his talent and let him in, but a lot of people won't. So I applaud him for, all that he's contributed in the form of ATL or Atlanta. I keep calling it ATL. In the form of Atlanta, in the form of all his mixtapes, and in the form of this joint. Shout out to him. Keep pushing regardless.
I got 3 quick bullet points.
Hit it.
One is the one thing that I did sense between Atlanta and this is that they're way more about vibe than words. Atlanta was not like a crazy talky show.
Right.
And it could have been. He could have written episodes that were like 30 Rock.
Right.
But they didn't have to.
Right.
A lot of the social commentary was not in the dialogue. It was just in the plot. And even that whole episode with the whole black entertainment, like the BET knockoff, like that's all social commentary without preaching a word.
Right.
So they're more about like being subtle while still being like great. The second is just nuts and bolts, like what Juan was saying about songs. I really like how it starts. I think it right after the first song gets a little weird, like he put some of the weaker ones. But I'll say, you said The Night Me and Your Mama Met. That's between 2 other songs. I think those last 3 songs, the way they all work is like great. Like he knows how to end an album, like just such a boss. And he put everything in the kitchen sink in those last few. And then my other thing, which closes the door on Gambino, is what are times that you guys have liked a total reinvention?
Ooh, man. I would say, I don't know if it was a total reinvention, but definitely kind of gave me this energy of coming straight out of left field would be The Love Below, Andre 3000. That album, I feel like, was maybe not a reinvention, but definitely a freeing representation of Andre, and I absolutely loved everything on that album.
Pretty quick?
Easily, immediately.
Wow, great.
When you say reinvention, do you mean musically and visually and
no, just the
like,
sound like that you had.
Because like
it almost like Yeezus is another example, just like stuff like that where it's just like
because you could even go as far back as
the same artist.
You could go as far back as Jay and like M because like they both used to rap a certain way and then they switched it up and they reinvented their sound.
Right.
No, I mean like this. I mean like this, where you had where it wasn't what you wanted, it wasn't what you
like
imagined.
808 and Heartbreak was like, what the heck is this?
I think Kanye might be probably the best at that because every time you went in after College Dropout and after Late Registration, he had his sound set and you loved it, and then like you said, you went to 808s and you're like, what the okay, I like this. Then you went into fast forward to Yeezus and you're like, what the I guess. And now with Pablo, it's like kind of back, but in between.
But you're doing a theory, not giving me an answer.
I think Kanye would be the best one in my. I mean, I really can't think of anyone who completely. Because
hip hop artists don't do it.
I could
much.
name a lot that I'm just like, oh, I really liked you when you were just doing your thing.
Right.
And then
I know you can.
But positively, I think damn, I even hate to say it, but yeah, Kanye is the only one I could really think of.
All right.
Who's done it well.
Gambino's called himself the son of Kanye, like many people.
Oh
have,
yeah,
so,
big time, man.
All right, good job, Donald. Good luck with all that.
Word. Now some other amazing news.
Coley Cole, fresh as a 4-week-old.
Oh man, following up one of the highly celebrated, widely successful, very controversial in the sense of just shutting up and showing what fans and building good music can do in terms of his Forest Drive album. He's coming back with For Your Eyez Only.
With the number 4 because this is his fourth album.
Fourth album. For Your Eyez Only on December 9th. J. Cole.
Surprise, too.
I think Cole.
It's a week away.
My analogy to Cole, I think Cole is like the Kobe of rap. Because
explain this.
You know how like in NBA it's like, oh, LeBron and Jordan. I feel like the LeBron version of rap is like Drake. Right?
Okay.
That's who everyone loves or hates or in between.
So
and
Jordan
that's
Jay.
the bar. As far as success, reach, money, sales.
Like
I feel like the real basketball players who have played ball, followed ball their entire life would be like, LeBron is great. He does what he does. He's successful, but he's not Michael Jordan, right? No one will ever be. But the closest person to resemble Michael Jordan-esque attributes and abilities was Kobe. People do this all the clutch, the competitiveness.
The rings.
The rings.
And just
the drive.
Millions
the
of people.
demeanor.
Millions of people thought he was the best of the time. A lot of people thought he was the best ever, too.
Right.
And then a lot of people just they didn't think that at all.
Exactly.
And that's the same with Cole. Like, so many people think he's the best.
Right.
And a lot of
But
people
he doesn't get
a lot
that.
of people don't at
Exactly.
Right.
But, like, I feel like he's the one that's still true to the art form, doesn't conform and sing for a whole record. You know what I mean? Still does conscious stuff. Still,
He's too true though, man.
He is a little.
Like,
I would say that
he's
my one
so,
criticism
like,
of him
90s.
is like,
It's so old. It's not.
I mean, he is, but he's not. The one thing I do criticize is I wish he would just like notch it back a tad on the consciousness, because sometimes like we get that you're talking about stuff that is affecting all of us socially and black community and so forth. But sometimes you just want to listen to a rap and just hear you just like
I don't know, man.
spit bars and then just talk about shit that's not gonna make me be like. Yeah,
I feel
man,
like he's
this
already
situation's
there,
really
though.
fucked up right now.
I feel like people hold him up as such an icon of social consciousness.
I think
and
Kendrick
he's still
gets
just
that
an
more than
ignorant,
he
like,
does.
misogynist
No, but see, that's the
motherfucker.
thing.
Like, a lot of the time he
Right.
says shit, and I'm just like, come on, man, grow up.
Which is what I love about Cole versus Kendrick. Because Cole gives me more of a duality, which is why I love the whole Born Sinner thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all of his kind of yin and yang. Even his logo has the devil horns and it has the halo.
True.
It's very much that. I'm striving for this. I'm recognizing that this is going on, but at the same time,
That is a good quality. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
And some of
and
the
that was a
greats-
Tupac quality,
and that's an Eminem quality.
and that's an Eminem quality.
He will turn around and shit on people who are like, he'll shit on Trump for being misogynistic
Right.
and all that, but then he'll turn around and call women on tracks bitches and
Yeah.
talk about putting them in trunks
All
and
the
killing them.
Right.
I feel like
Worst
that's
shit that Trump said.
that's a quality that I feel a lot of the greats have.
Right.
I like Kendrick has it too. Kendrick would be super social commentary, but then again, say bitch that, bitch
Right,
this,
right.
bitch don't kill my vibe.
Right, girl, you want this.
Exactly. Like it's a duality.
Kendrick does go there too. You're right.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I don't.
But I feel I disagree with you in the fact I feel Cole is not held to the same kind of status as a Drake or a Kendrick would be, as my analogy with Kobe, where everyone was always LeBron first,
Right.
and then you say Kobe, like, oh shit, Kobe, that's right, I forgot he was still there doing his
Right.
thing when he was. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like Cole is as good, if not,
Right.
Cole's fans are like, I don't know who. I feel like Cole's fans are like people who go to the record store every week or something, because he does such big numbers. Like, he beat Kanye at the Yeezus time.
Right.
He obviously platinum with no features.
Right.
Double plat, I think now maybe. But but every time I see people talking about how he's the greatest, I'm surprised, because I don't hear that much. But I do see people who very much believe it, who I appreciate their ear. But yeah,
I wouldn't say he's the greatest. I would say he's up in the conversation of the best doing it.
Yeah.
I give him respect for Drake sells records and appeals to that audience because of his singing and his softness,
Right.
if you will. Cole appeals to that same audience, and he just raps with cool hooks and sampling TLC, but he's still rapping. He's still a rap. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
That's why I respect him, and I like him because he's doing it his way and he's still rapping, whereas Drake is more singing to appeal to his audience.
Now, as an MC of his era, we're not including Jay-Z, we're not including Eminem. Of the modern era of MCs, we're talking about Kendrick, Cole, Crit. We're talking about that era. We're not even talking about Joel. I put Joel in the era before.
MC
As an MC, is he not the best right now
never.
of his
Cole?
era?
Never.
Who is better than Cole?
I would put Kendrick in front
As
of
you're
Cole.
saying, like a rapper?
Yes, as a rapper.
Just
not-
MC.
Well, you
like-
just said Big Crit. He's better.
You think Crit is better than Cole?
See, I wouldn't say Big Crit is better just because Crit is great, but Crit, number one, sometimes you have a tough time digesting what he's saying. With Crit, you have a tough time digesting what he's saying
Right.
and following his train of thought on certain things. With Cole, you're processing as you're listening
Right.
to it.
Yeah, there's no delay.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time with him because nobody likes to be the guy who only likes the old stuff. But like I was listening at the mixtape time, and I waited for each new one, and they were so good. And
The warm up mixtapes.
Yeah, all three, the come up, the warm up, Friday Night Lights,
right.
and Friday Night Lights was like a fucking album. And then he put out his first album. I was so disappointed, and I still listen to it so much because I was a big fan. And like, I just haven't liked any of his albums. Like, there's songs I really like, but I just think his like flow, his sound of his voice is too boring to me, and then his production is like too boring to me.
I'll give you that. His
Like,
production is a little boring.
If one or the other was more exciting to me, I would be more into it. But like, I admire he produces it all, but I'm also
Right.
just like, I know you can make more exciting
But
stuff than this.
which is another thing.
You know who that reminds me of?
Who gets let out of the conversation a lot as one of the greatest rappers ever because they have crap production.
It's Nas.
Exactly.
Probably the most thought-provoking rap. I mean, you could argue, you
Hands
could do this all
down.
day.
That's why he let Nas down, probably, because he didn't get better production.
That's a good
That was
point.
good.
All
But
right.
no, that's a perfect analogy because
Yep.
I've talked about the thing that has hurt Nas over the years, not the lyrics.
Not at all. Not
Ever.
creativity.
Not
Ever.
creativity, not critical thinking, not
Nope.
consciousness,
Yeah.
not ignorance because he could rap ignorant all
Yeah.
he wants. It's the production lacks a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I never heard that, but that definitely hits. You guys,
And I
Absolutely.
feel like that's the lane that
Yeah.
Cole
is falling in.
unfortunately kind of falls under is where his
Because they don't play
production-
by our rules
But-
in terms of production.
Yeah, but you're right. And every time he comes back, I'm gonna check it out. You know, I'm excited to see what
course.
he does. I'm excited to see if that producer side of him and that sampling side
And the thing
of him
about
that
Cole-
I love, if those come back.
as a person, because we've interviewed him a couple
Oh
times.
yeah, he's an awesome guy.
He's a good dude. He's
Right.
down to earth.
Right.
He's not, dude. Like we've seen him. I never seen him with a big ass chain.
Never.
I've never seen him in more than one or two people with him. I
Never.
never seen him worry about like, yo, don't get this side because this
Right.
and that. He
Okay.
embraced like that. He's a down to earth, cool dude that
Yeah,
I would
man.
actually chill with
Yeah.
and just shoot the shit about
Right,
whatever.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like I can honestly say like, for work, I'll interview Drake. But like I would never be like, yo, let's go get a pizza because like I don't know what the fuck we're gonna talk about because I know for like we're two different people. And I'm not saying that
Word.
because J. Cole, went to school in Queens.
I
and all
knew
that
it.
good
I
shit.
knew you were gonna work that in there.
But
in
like
some way.
I could sit down and talk to Nas about whatever, and I
Yeah.
know that conversation would be great. Don't get me wrong, I might have shit to talk about with Drake, but if you give me the choice, he's not the first person on my list.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I wouldn't want to talk to Drake ever.
All right, we got 13 minutes left in this podcast.
Yeah,
so-
good luck, Cole. We're excited to hear it. And
Yeah,
also,
man.
fun fact: it's exactly 2 years to the day after the last album.
Wow.
Oh shit.
And they put
I
out an
didn't
album
even feel
exactly
that
1
bad.
year ago too, December 8th.
Right.
So we're getting a lot. So we're getting that, and
the
then we're getting
Dreamers.
Run the Jewels in January.
Run the Jewels. So yeah, I don't know what there's to say other than like fuck yeah. I think
I
it's
can't wait.
January 13th.
Yeah, man, that's exciting.
I cannot wait.
They did 2 albums. They only made us wait a year the first time. Now it's been like a year and a half.
And I feel like just that-
2.5.
I feel like all the things that happen during this election cycle is gonna
Oh,
make them
Oh,
make
yeah.
this an even bigger deal. Just in terms of like their fans are going. There's going to be way more fans now. There's going to be way more people that's paying attention, and hopefully, a lot of the work that he's done is going to follow him into
Who,
his
Killer
music.
Mike?
Killer Mike.
has
yeah.
anyone? Question to both of you.
Sure.
Has anyone done a better job than Run the Jewels of expanding their brand and expanding their reach?
Nah.
With starting the way they started, just a dude who, if you had to be grassroots,
Right.
underground
Had to
hip hop,
be the illest
As
fan.
from the
Fuck
Def
yeah.
Jux days,
Yeah.
to Killer Mike doing, his stuff with Outkast back in
Right.
the day and Dungeon Fam, all that good shit, to now where they're I wouldn't say household names, but they're out there.
Right.
They're pretty household.
They've
I
done
think,
Marvel
almost.
covers.
Yeah.
They've done
Meow the Jewels,
every
which is just the
podcast.
most
Meow the
insane
Jewels.
thing
They
you
have
could
like video
ever-
game theme. Dude, like
Yeah.
The only thing that came to mind was Tech 9, but they've surpassed Tech 9.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I can't wait. The cover art's beautiful too.
and we had that conversation about underrated, like who's the most
man.
Killer Mike is
He's
100%
all the way up
on
there.
that list because
Come
he's
on,
so
man.
fucking good. They're just a
Insane.
match made in heaven. I
Yeah,
can't
we're
wait.
excited for Run the Jewels 3.
Blowing
sure
on
in
Crippy
January.
while reading inscriptions that's read by Egyptians. More
Come
to
on,
that
man.
line too.
All right, last but not least in this category of new albums is the Hamilton Mixtape, which the track listing looks ignorant.
Take it away, Zach.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I want to try to keep myself on a short leash here, but yeah. So the Hamilton soundtrack came out a year ago, the cast soundtrack. So people have had that for a year, and now Lin-Manuel Miranda has been cooking this up for a long time, and he always talked about how Hamilton was a love letter to hip hop. He has been in a group called Freestyle Love Supreme as a rapper. That's always been his background. And now this time he got like all his people. Like he got Nas, he got The Roots a bunch of times. He got Busta,
Kelly Clarkson's son.
Alicia
I don't
Keys,
sleep on Kelly Clarkson.
Queen
Ja Rule and
Latifah.
Ashanti.
Yeah,
My
Ja
brother
Rule.
Illmind is on here.
Yep. And
Jill Scott. Wow.
there's this song called "Immigrants We Get the Job Done," which is like a real crowd pleaser line in the show, and it's got, I don't know how you say this guy's name.
Kanan.
It's got Kanan. It's got Snow the Product, who we like.
Yeah.
It's got Riz MC, who's in this Sweatshop Boys group I like, and Residente, and those guys are all have very different backgrounds from different countries.
Right,
Either
right.
they immigrated or they work a lot
That's
in another
beautiful.
country, or their parents immigrated, and
Right.
it's great. Like they each get a really big verse and they just like kill it. So, but
That's a great lineup.
something that I think
Chance,
Common. That's what I'm gonna say. Like that's all I really need to say for this is that the song that it ends with is Chance the Rapper and his guy Francis in the Lights, who's like this auto-tune symphony master, and they're doing such a pretty song from the show called Dear Theodosia, and like I just can't wait. Like some of my hopes for these songs are that they could just play on the radio without context and people will listen to them, and I think some of them will. This song Satisfied, it's got Sia, Queen Latifah, and Miguel. It's like
That sounds insane. Just
It's
those
great.
3 names sound insane.
that is the first one that I heard, and I was like, you could listen to this in any context. So I hope that
I'm
one
excited
Chance
for
does
this.
too. And
I like that there's people here who are tailor-made for this content.
Right.
Nas, tailor-made to talk about
right.
all
Common.
this shit. Common,
Yeah.
Roots,
Legend,
perfect. The only
Jill.
person that seems out of place to me, honestly, is
Go
like,
ahead.
what the fuck is Wiz Khalifa
I
doing?
knew you were
here?
going to say that. That's that.
Wizzy, he ends up on a lot of
I
weird
don't have
projects
anything
where he
against
sticks
him. It's
out.
just
Washington's
like-
by your side with Wiz Khalifa.
Like, I don't have anything against Wiz. I like,
Yeah.
you know.
right. Now,
Wiz
I would love
music.
to hear what he brought to the table.
But
And
it's like, you know, another one that kind of like Usher's another one that's also like,
I mean, yeah, we talked about the rappers, and like I just say let people go see all the other artists who are there, because there's pop artists, there's people who play piano, there's all kinds of stuff.
Ashanti featuring Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
And that song, there's
Bring
so
it
many
back.
little things if you like the show. Like the song they covered, they did that because Lynn does a line in Ja Rule's voice as a
word.
Ja Rule reference.
Right.
So then he
Have
got
you seen
them to
it?
do the song. No.
You might be able to see it since they're quote unquote boycotting it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But anyway, I'm excited for this Hamilton mixtape. When does it drop?
Tomorrow. What, today? Friday.
Friday. Dang, so much good music this weekend, man.
Who knew the
And I'm
year had
still-
more to give?
And I'm
Right?
still like working on like I was pleasantly surprised by the weekend that I like it so much. Like I like that album
Word.
like a lot. I was not expecting.
Word.
So,
I've
like-
been listening to Bruno Mars, man.
I'm
That
excited to
Bruno
listen to
Mars
that one some
album
more,
is
yeah.
so good, man.
I think the weekend's dead in the water for me.
Yeah, I'm
Unfortunately.
Starboy. I'm done with you. Netflix offline mode. I'm hyped, man.
Yeah. Amazon Prime has had this for a while, and that's like so clutch for road trips, for
Yeah,
like camping,
airplanes.
just for and it's great.
You have the
like-
space.
Juan's always stuck on the
Exactly,
train
yeah.
underground. Always.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could barely fit podcasts in my phone because apparently I have. You're using 11 gigs of your 16. You have no space. I'm
Yeah.
like, the fuck you telling me I got no space? I got
Yeah.
5 gigs. Where did they go?
Yeah.
Not enough.
Hopefully, yeah, it's gonna take a lot of space no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
I've already decided my next phone. I'm gonna give myself the adult treat of getting the huge fucking
Right.
space. Like I'm
Yeah,
going
I'm
like
doing-
120 gigs. I don't care
doing
if
the
I have to
same.
spend extra, whatever.
Word.
No, but that's good stuff. Like if we all have kids, so for us,
Oh yeah,
road
those
trips
road
and
trips for
airplane
sure.
rides, especially now in the holidays when you're traveling back and forth.
Yeah, man, that's a great point.
That's a good look.
And everybody who's got to commute where they're not driving. I mean, I think my favorite thing ever, reading, might now be dead forever because who's gonna read with it?
Dude,
You
this
watch
is
Netflix on the
more-
train.
More of the cord cutting movement. It's just gonna keep coming. Like,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Between that, Amazon Prime now, you could get Cinemax and HBO if you want.
Yeah, that's brand new. Yeah,
That just happened today. Like the cord cutting is real, dude. Like
Yeah.
It's real, man.
We were talking about it. Yes, I have not. I've been cable free for about 4 or 5 months now, and I don't miss cable.
Oh,
Me
I didn't
either.
know.
Yeah, I
It's it's real when the
Me
sports
either.
heads are cutting the
dude,
cable,
and
Right.
you know
which
what?
is like,
When I still kept the internet because I have to, and I don't have a choice on my provider.
Right.
But when my Time Warner bill comes in and it's only $70,
yeah.
Right.
there is no better feeling in the world.
Yeah,
and I
man.
don't, I haven't missed any. I still watch my CW, Arrow, Flash,
Yeah.
Supergirl.
Yeah,
I
man.
still watch my Fox shows on Hulu. I watch my Rick and Morty. I still watch my wrestling. Like,
Yeah, man.
dude, like this. If you've been debating on cutting cable, this is the time because it's
Yeah.
only gonna get better.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is a great conversation to have at our cable network that we
No, because we're doing it like, but it's the
Hey,
same thing. We're
You can
we
watch
have an app.
Episodes of Fuse
Yeah, like
shows
the
on
Fuse app.
We have
Fuse.tv.
the Fuse app
You
where
got the
all our
app.
interviews and all
Yeah.
our content is. You could
Yeah,
go to
go to
Fuse.tv
Fuse.tv
to watch our videos and read articles written
Right.
by Zach and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, man.
Look, like if you have cable, we're a great channel.
We're
like
on
objectively,
Hulu.
we're a dope channel. We play music videos. Like we
Right.
have cool shows. If you got the cord, like
Yeah,
watch
we're on
Fuse.
Hulu.
If not,
Yeah.
you go look at
Like
you
if
go
you,
look up your
if
stuff.
you love our channel and you want to cut cable, cut it and then
right.
watch it on Hulu and all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
Good.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our last show.
Side note, one dope thing that's hilarious that I also love about Netflix is the playlists. Now you can go
Ooh.
create playlists. So what I've started doing
Oh.
is going back through all of my favorite TV shows, Cheers, and all these other shows, and I'm starting
Line up like a night
holiday.
of TV. Oh yeah.
All their Christmas episodes,
Interesting. I don't
and
do
I'll
that.
put that on, and I'll play it. It'll play for hours and hours and hours instead of like Christmas movies. It's been Christmas episodes of stuff.
That's great.
It's been great.
I've been getting ready to like dig them up independently, so that's so cool.
Yeah, now
and
you
I've
can-
also wanted to like sometimes I do it on my own, but like as if you were watching, TV at 7:00 when you were a kid, and it's like Friends is on, then Seinfeld is on, then Roseanne is on, whatever. I
Right.
like to do that sometimes more than just watch The Office
Doesn't
for
that feel
3
good?
hours. I like to mix it up, so that's cool. You can
Yeah.
do that.
I do that,
Yep.
but with movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll go on my HBO now and go in alphabetical like movies A, B, and I'll just pluck movies I want to see or I haven't seen in a while. I want to see again, and I just put them all on my watch list
Right.
and just watch them.
Right.
Sporadically. Finish that one, go to the next one.
Cool.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Mixtape Watching.
Mixtape Netflix
Yeah.
offline
I think
God
it's called
mode.
Flix Tape.
Okay.
Is
That's
the
cool.
Netflix version of a playlist.
All right, guys. So, are we going to talk about whatever happened to Charles Hamilton,
man, real quick.
or our weekend music? We
Charles-
talked about music a lot. So,
Charles Hamilton, didn't he get slapped in the street by
Punched
some?
in the face
He
by
got
his-
punched
yeah,
in the
by a
face.
girl.
That was like his claim to fame. And then he beefed with Cudi for a
That's
while.
shame. He beefed with a lot of people.
Yeah, he did beef with a lot.
But basically, long story short, if you don't know who Charles Hamilton is, at the rise of the blogosphere, like, internet rapper era, Charles Hamilton was one of the highly touted. And he got a ignorantly humongous deal from Jimmy Iovine. This kid was homeless and lived in his music class in his high school in Harlem.
Wow.
Like he, the story was amazing and compelling. For me, in my opinion, the music never lived up to the story. But I feel like people, of course, because we're in media, get hyped by the story.
yeah.
But yeah, then it was just like a real bad, kind of like a spiral,
he just
downward.
he started feeling himself.
He was feeling himself a lot. He wasn't really delivering on the music that we all wanted. Then a lot of his personal life got out into the world. He was freestyling in some interview with this girl who he was dating. Or he said something he shouldn't have said in the freestyle, and she punched him in the face, and that went viral on
camera. And then
on
the people
camera.
he beefed with use it against him.
Oh my
which
gosh.
is the kiss of death. Like
exactly. But so Red Bull has just released a trailer for pretty much a whatever happened to Charles Hamilton.
Oh wow.
oh really?
Yeah.
Red Bull?
Yes, Red Bull.
That's
Red Bull
random.
TV, dude, is great. If you
I know, but it's like
Yeah.
you
Great.
wouldn't you associate Red Bull with people jumping out of planes, jumping out of
Oh, dude, no, 'cause
spaceships.
Red Bull
Is that-
music is
Is that the thing, Elliot Wilson, with those crown
No.
talks? No, that's something else.
That's something else. But again, like ASAP Rocky's whole album was recorded at Red Bull Studio in London. Gallant is a Red Bull. Like they do a lot for
Interesting.
music and like free of charge. Like they just give you space. They really support.
That's dope.
They really support music. So
They give you wings.
They give out a
they
lot of
give
free
you
drinks on the
wings,
street too, man.
And they give away a lot of drinks. But anyway, back to Charles Hamilton. This mix, I was always thought of like whatever happened to that guy. Well, now the documentary comes out today, and you can watch it on Red Bull TV. Go check it out and learn, about the amazing
Is
story.
it free?
It's free. They interviewed
Then I'm in there.
his old teachers. They interviewed his like friends. They talk
Did they
about
interview him?
he had to interview him. Rosenberg is on it.
Cool.
They talk about his drug problems and like depression and almost committing suicide and like the rise and fall and all that stuff.
The smack. They talk about that.
Oh no, it's in the trailer.
Okay.
The
All right.
punch.
All right. Oh, punch.
She decked my man.
Yeah.
It's in the trailer. So whatever happened to Charles Hamilton, check it out on Red Bull TV.
All right.
Now, this weekend playlist. Do we even have to go through this? We just listed all of the weekend stuff that we're going to be listening to.
It sounds like, you guys know what we're going to be listening
Exactly.
So yeah, you're gonna listen to Zach's gonna be listening to Gambino.
to. Gambino
Right.
and that Hamilton.
And the
mixtape.
Hamilton. That's what
Yeah.
I'm listening to.
I'll listen to Hamilton and like I said, I'm liking
The Weeknd.
Weekend. Fuck you guys.
Starboy.
I like the
past
song
Star-
Starboy, but
Party
Yo,
Monster's fucking dope.
Ooh.
No, wait. We're gonna end this podcast right here. You need to come up with another 43. But aside from that, yesterday he was sitting at the desk, and Juan is like listening to the Starboy album. He's like, "Yo, this album is really good." I'm like, "Yeah, what? How far are you in?" He's like, "I'm only on track 2." I was like, "But what was track 1?" He's like, "Starboy." I'm like, "You haven't listened to the album yet. We already heard."
But I like
Starboy.
The song with
Starboy.
Kendrick is really good. I like that.
I like
Oh,
that
man.
song.
Yeah.
Party Monster's my favorite one just because the production is so good. I think it just creeped up on me because I don't dislike him, but I've never been like a fan per se.
Right.
But I like to give everything a chance. And,
Word.
and it was on Spotify.
And a lot of this was done by Daft Punk, right?
Couple.
A couple
Couple,
records
yeah.
was
Like
yeah.
Starboy
The
was-
first
Starboy's
and the
Daft Punk.
last. Yeah.
Way to bookend it.
Yeah.
Word. So Juan, 43, bro. What you got, man?
Who you want, bro?
I wanted number 43.
Baseball?
Oh, we don't care, Juan. We trying to end this podcast right now.
Billy Bean, who was a New York Met for a hot minute.
Yo, you just
Who
read
is-
that. You just
No.
Googled number 43s.
Oh, no, I did. But this one's interesting because the movie Hardball is based off Billy Bean, who revolutionized like baseball. If you watch that movie, it's a
Alright.
good movie. And he was a Met
All
prospect.
right, you get that off.
And that's the number he wore. And R.A. Dickey, a former Met. Woo! This came to my head.
Wait,
It
Lil
was
Dicky's
43.
pop?
Yeah, him too.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.